Hey y'all, we're gonna get into this review of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Season 11, Episode 8, titled Renni Aim Fire. Now, I know I've been slacking, I've just been very busy, but I'm trying to get back on it. Right after this live, I'm gonna do a live of Episode 9, so just stay tuned for that one. But let's get into it. And if you enjoy this live review, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. So they show Rasheeda and Kirk bickering per usual, and then they show Yandy at her store, saying that she's trying to figure out why they have returns on their products. And then they show Erica Banks, hairstylist, asking if afterward are they going to go get something to eat. And Erica says, well, after that, she's going to go to that man's house. And her hairstylist says, that man. And Erica says, Khaotic. And then they both just laugh. Girl, she thirsty over this nigga. It's like, no. And then we're with Scrappy, and in his confessional, he says the past few months have been so crazy and hard emotionally and mentally, and people who aren't even involved, want to blame him for the divorce, not knowing the whole situation. And then they show a clip from when Debbie was asking Scrappy why is he putting everybody in his business, and he says because Bam did. And then when Rasheeda and Erica Mena was mad at him at the Hype Hair event, and then clips from when Sierra and him were getting into it, and then he and Erica Mena getting into it again. He getting into it with everybody, and it's all women, and ain't no men that want to fight with his ass. But then in his confessional, Scrappy continues to say that it's hard looking at the situation like he had somebody, but he was still lonely. And then he says that there was never any love, I guess, on Bam's part. And then they play old clips from 2014 of Bambi telling Scrappy that she's done with it and she don't want no baby mama drama. And he's telling her, not to walk out. And then they show another clip from 2022 of Scrappy telling Bambi that he thinks what he thinks that she should do, and then she says that she don't even want to hear it anymore. Like she straight cut him off. Like he was in the middle of talking and she was just like, I don't even want to hear it, and gets up and leaves. And then in his confessional, he continues to say that it's come to the point where since they're going to the final trial, he just wanted somebody in his corner who knows him and got his back. And then Scrappy's attorney asks him how he's feeling, and he says he's good and that he feels like they're going in the right direction. And then Scrappy's attorney says that she's interested into knowing their thoughts on Bambi as a stepmother. And then the camera fans over to my girl, Erica Dixon. And I've been waiting all season to see her because, girl, this shit been a mess. But then Erica tells the attorney that she doesn't really care for Bambi and she never has. And in his confessional, Scrappy says that he and Erica's relationship is cool right now, and he thinks that they both low key remember everything that they've been through. And then they play clips from 2012 and 2013 of both of them getting into it together with each other over engagement rings and being that they felt that Erica felt betrayed about Scrappy fucking with Diamond, all of that. Um, but then Scrappy says that they shouldn't have any beef now. It says that it's good for their daughter to see her parents on a good note. And then Scrappy's attorney tells Erica kudos for being so supportive. And Scrappy says, yeah, for real. And then the attorney tells Erica that she's just interested to know because she's on the outside looking in this time. And then in her confessional, Erica says that she's there with Scrappy because honestly, she's happy to have a front row seat to Bambi's karma. Although she and Bambi came to a truce not too long ago, and then they show the infamous clip from 2021 of Erica telling Bambi that she wants them to be in a place of peace, and Bambi agreeing. In her confessional, Erica continues to say that that whole truce was for Imani's sake, and it was short-lived. It says that less than a week later, Bambi didn't want to be around her, and she didn't want Scrappy to be around her either. And then Erica tells the attorney that she feels like what you see from Bambi isn't what you really get. And then in her confessional, Erica says that Bambi portrays this image that she wants everybody to be cool, but at the end of the day, Bambi is the center of the chaos and confusion. And then the attorney tells Scrappy that at the end of the day, there's no debate that he's an exceptional father, and tells him that she needs him to remember that no matter how nasty Bambi gets with him, or the comments from her friends, or people even harassing him online, she says that she feels they will resolve everything. And then Scrappy asks how long is it going to take, and she says it depends on him. And Scrappy says that he just wants to make sure everything is concrete and nobody can go back on their word. And then the attorney says that she understands, and that sometimes in divorce you see the worst in the other person. It says Capricorn, they always end up on top. And then Scrappy starts cheesing real hard and shit. And then Erica's like, "Oh, you a Cap too?" to the attorney. And she says, "Yeah, that's their connection. They always take the high road." And Erica says, "Not always." And then she tells Scrappy that he's doing good now, but she's shocked. And then the attorney says that they're going to try to get this done as quick as possible. And Scrappy says that he just wants it over with. And she says that she understands. So that's the end of their scene. And then we're with Rasheeda. And in her confessional, she says the idea of their Frost Bistro came from the late hours, and things were going in opposite direction. So she and Kirk's vision, they had to figure something else out, because basically what they had set up was just not okay. And then the lady painting tells Rasheeda that she could be an interior designer. And Rasheeda jokes and says that she thinks it'll be her next passion. And then dun dun dun, Kirk walks in, face all to the floor, tore up, and he's inspecting the work on the walls and says that he bet she can, shaking his head basically about Rasheeda being an interior designer, trying to be smart. And Rasheeda asks him why he looking so mean, and he says that Rasheeda forgot the permit and that put them in a rut. And in his confessional, Kirk says that they have a grand opening coming up, and then he finds out the blue that they have a permit issue, and says that basically it was Rasheeda's fault because she didn't follow the time, and now they'll be set back a few weeks, and he doesn't know what's gonna happen. And then Kirk tells Rasheeda that she's dropping the ball, but gives him an attitude, and she was like, "Drop the ball for real?" And then he tells her that if she pushed a little more buttons, then they could make their grand opening date. And then Rasheeda tells Kirk that it's not her fault somebody wanted to talk so much shit about what they doing. And then in her confessional, Rasheeda says that it totally went over her head that they needed to file a specific permit for their business. And then Kirk tells Rasheeda that he needs his business partner to handle her business when it's necessary. And then she tells him to chill because it takes both of them to make that motherfucking boat rock. And if anybody does slack, they're human. And then she tells Kurt that the days start off with her getting up at 6 something every day to take their son to school, and they come back to work on all their business and try to hold everything together. And in her confessional, she says that when you talk to her sideways like that, it's hurtful because he tried to make it seem like that she doesn't do her part. But she busts her ass every day, and she's sure every other woman feels this way too, that a bitch don't ever get a day off. Ever. And then Kirk tells Rasheeda that he thinks something has to change, and she rolls her eyes and says that she has to go get their son, and tells Kirk that he needs to chill the fuck out. Yeah, he probably didn't get no cutty last night. He mad. Shout out to Atlanta for real. So, nah, he need to just relax. But then Rasheeda and Yandy meet up. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep saying this, but Yandy and then they've been so dry, and I just don't want to keep saying them. So I don't know, but they meet up, and Yandy says that she hasn't been able to shake the last meeting they had with Spice. And Rasheeda says that she knows that it was unexpected. And then they play a clip of Spice being worried about her daughter having an allergic reaction and stuff to whatever it was. And then Rasheeda tells Yandy that she could never imagine what Spice is going through. And then in her confessional, Yandy says that she's so happy that Spice's daughter is fine. But hearing Spice say that she feels like she's going to die, Yandy says that has to change. She has to change Spice's way of thinking, and that she can't go through life thinking stuff like that. But sometimes when you don't feel like you got no hope, that's just what it is. But I get it. She's just trying to keep that positive energy going for Spice. But Spice been going through a lot. Like those health issues ain't no joke because it's out of your control. It's literally in the control of other doctors. And I just want to say this real quick. Even though this is on the scene about Rasheeda and Yandy, I want to say this about Spice's doctors. It seemed like they just wanted to keep cutting her open just cause and just to have a black woman on the table just to keep slicing her up. This season has done a great job on um, highlighting black mental health and black health in general. So let's just put that out there. These doctors, they don't listen to us ever, especially not black women. So I just feel like whoever it was that Spice was going to, they probably ain't look like her. Period. But let's get back to Rasheeda and Yandy. And Rasheeda says, speaking of strength, she needs just enough to choke Kirk out, and then they both laugh. And she explains what's going on and that he got an attitude, saying that she dropped the ball because of the permit and a bunch of other stuff, and he's frustrated about, and she feels like she's a punching bag. And then Yandy says, yeah, because she's the closest thing to him. And then Rasheeda says that she's just over it, like she don't care. And then in her confessional, she says being in a marriage and working together isn't for everybody. But then Yandy asked her if they were going at it, about the permit, was it just a quick thing? And Rasheeda says, no, no, Kirk cussed her the fuck out. And Yandy says, like, for real, because you don't take that kind of stuff well. And then tells Rasheeda that Kirk was a little wrong, but a little right. And then Rasheeda says, yeah, that's true. But then a bunch of other stuff spilled out from Kirk about how he felt about a whole bunch of other stuff. And um, there isn't a time where she doesn't want him to think that he isn't the shit. Um, my thing is though, if you not being the shit right now, somebody you gotta let somebody know. Like I mean, I get it, but he don't care about making her feel like she's not shit. So and I get it. It's marriage. You gotta have compromise, and that's just my immature thinking. You gotta get your lick back, but Kirk just been having all kinds of attitudes. You gotta figure that out. But then in her confessional, Rashida says that she empathizes with Kurt and that, he's always been her strongest supporter, and says that when it comes to the bistro, she wants him to know that she has the same support for him. She wants to know that she has the same support for him because he puts a lot of stuff aside and he just leaves it for her. But let's also remember she low key got groomed by Kurt, being him so young and all that stuff. So anything, whenever he's mad, that's low key like a little control thing. Like, oh, what did I do wrong to make him mad? I gotta figure out how to fix it. Allegedly, she got groomed, but y'all know what I'm saying. And then Rasheeda asked Yandy how she and Mendecees have been. And Yandy says that he's just been so down because he's been getting dragged, ever since doing that Shannon Sharp interview. And the only thing that seemed to help was his son hyping him up. And that instantly cheered Mendecees up. And then Yandy jokes and tells Rasheeda that maybe she needs to get their son Carter to cheer Kirk up some. And then in her confessional, Rasheeda says bringing Carter in might be a good idea because he always brings a smile to her and Kirk's face. So, they aren't in the worst mood. After they see him, they feel so much better. Yandy tells Rasheeda that she has a connect at the city of Atlanta, so she'll send over some info to help figure out the permit thing. And then she tells Rasheeda that there's their panel coming up for the women's empowerment thing, and Meda, booked her to speak at the panel. And then Rasheeda lies and said that Meda reached out to her too, but she had something going on at that day. And then I don't really believe that she actually had something going on. I think she just didn't want to fuck with Meda because of the whole Spice thing. But then Yandy says that's interesting because it's an all women event and that it's for up and coming artists. And then she lists who's going to be on the panel: Amy, Erica Banks, and Renni. And then Rasheeda, being messy as ever, says that she thinks it'll be good for them to go because she thinks Amy and Renni have a beef. She know about everybody else mess, don't she? And then they show a clip from the massage thing, and Sierra asking Amy what's going on with her and Renni, and Amy says that it's a music thing and how Renni stole her song. And then Rasheeda says maybe it'll be good for them because if they really have a problem, maybe they can figure it out. Because and then she says because females need to stick together, especially in the music industry. Girl, shut the fuck up. Because you of all people should not be saying females. I don't understand why women say that. Like they're just women. Women in the music industry. Just say that. Fuck. Anyways, we're with Scrappy. And in his confessional, he says it's a bittersweet day because his daughter's turning 18, and he says celebrating his daughter's birthday with Erica feels good now. And he says that after all these years with he and Erica arguing and fighting, his daughter just told him straight up that they can just be cordial and that since then, they've been cool and they've all been connected as a family. And they are connected as a family through Imani. And that and then they played their little zombie game, and it looks like they all really having fun, enjoying themselves. They had a cute little family dynamic. They good looking family, okay? But then Erica asks Imani how she feels now that she's going to be going to college and turning 18. And Imani says that she's excited. But then in his confessional, Scrappy says that he's so grateful to have Imani and that um, she would move a mountain for him and that he would do the same for her. Erica asked Scrappy how's he been doing after seeing the lawyer and all of the divorce stuff. Scrappy says that he's been trying to get himself together because he has kids and he's trying to be there for them. Imani tells him that she's happy he's getting himself together, but also reminds him of how strong he is as a person because he's not around Debbie Downer anymore. And he's like, Scrappy says, who? And Imani repeats herself. Um, and he's still like, what are you talking about? And then Erica says, Bambi, nigga. Like, you know who she talking about. And she was like, how she brings energy down and constantly brings turmoil where it doesn't need to be. And Scrappy's just nodding his head like, oh. And he's being smart not to really like co-sign or agree because Baby's gonna see this shit. Okay, so yeah. Um Amani says that she couldn't even go live without somebody asking her how if she felt some type of way about what Baby said about her mom, and they show a clip of Erica Dixon and Baby arguing at the 2015 reunion. And then Amani says that she don't play about her parents, so if she feels like somebody is doing that, no matter who she is, she feels they are disrespecting her, so she can't really fuck with them like that then. And then in her confessional, Erica says that she honestly thinks Imani is speaking up now because she's fed up and tired of being in a household where somebody is constantly talking bad about her mom, and then seeing how she talks to her dad. She's saying, she just doesn't have to deal with this anymore. And then Scrappy says that he doesn't want the younger kids to go through what Imani went through, and Imani agrees. And then Scrappy says that he feels like they miss out on a lot because of the bickering. And then in his confessional, Scrappy says that with Erica, he didn't like what they went through, but this time he doesn't want no smoke with the mother of his kids, and that he's not doing that again, and he just wants shit to be smooth and to be able to co-parent in peace. Well, we'll see, friend, because I don't think Bambi is really up for that. Because what she did in the next episode, episode 9, was real fucked up, and y'all know what I'm talking about. But we'll get to that later. Um, Rasheeda's at home with Carter, and doing regular family things, and Kirk walks in, face dragging on the floor again, and everybody says hey to him, and he just has a dry ass reply. And then Rasheeda asks him what's wrong, and he just says another day of bullshit, basically. And then in her confessional, Rasheeda says that she's gonna take a second to breathe and be the supportive wife, but it can be hard. And then she tells Kirk that every day he's been tripping all the time, and that it's just negative energy. And then Kirk replies all facetiously saying, well, oh, am I supposed to be jolly and happy that they spending all this money, and says that they aren't moving forward And then he lists all the fucked up things with the bistro, like the bills and all of that. And then Rasheeda tells him that that's life and that shit ain't gonna go his way all the time. And then in his confessional, Kirk says that all the pressure that he has been going through, not being able to talk to Rasheeda and have that wife and comfort zone, he feels like that he can't even vent to anybody because they're mad at each other. So that's another night of holding shit in. Well, maybe if you just sat down and said, "Hey, babe, I'm having a real fucked up day. Can you just listen to me real quick and not rebut?" And then maybe we can have a whole conversation after that about something different. But he don't want to do that. He come in like a child with his face dragging on the floor every fucking time. It's like raising another kid for real. But then Carter asks Kurt if he can listen to his essay he wrote. And then Carter reads it, and then not gonna lie, Kurt looks like he's gonna cry. But then I see Rasheeda in the background, and you can tell that it cheered Kirk up, you know. And then in his confessional, Kirk says that it felt great hearing Carter read the essay, and he felt appreciated and loved, and feels like he wishes there were more Carters. Yeah, because I don't ever see them other kids. Do he even got it? Do they got other kids? I think they do, but I don't ever see them. But then I probably because they older and out the house. But then Kirk tells his son that was very sweet, and Rasheeda co-signs, and then Kirk asks Rasheeda if she put Carter up to that, and she says yes, and then she wants Kirk to know that he's appreciated and gives him his accolades. And then Kirk tells Rasheeda that he feels better hearing her say that because he wants to feel that what he's been doing is appreciated. And then in his confessional, Kirk says that he'll be honest with Rasheeda saying that Rasheed, my bad. He'll be honest with Rasheeda saying that he appreciates him. He feels like a bunch of weight has been lifted off his shoulders. And then Kirk tells Rasheeda that he feels loved again, and that he was having a moment, and that he apologizes for his fucked up attitude. And then she accepts his apology, and then tells him that they got the permit, and he's somewhat excited, and then they end the scene. They just don't know how to communicate, but okay. Then we're with Amy, and in her confessional, she said some time has passed since she and Khaotic's kiss and their flirty FaceTimes, so it's important that she talks to him after the video shoot, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. Girl, what's going on is that he don't really want you no more. He'll fuck you, but he really want Erica right now. And you snooze, you lose, Amy. Like, I'm sorry, but you had time to get at him, and now he done seen something else he want, and that's what it is. But then she tells Khaotic that she feels like there's a lot of other bitches that be coming and going, and that she's not talking about Erica Banks. But when she came to the video shoot, when she walked up, she asked him why is it awkward for her seeing him hug on Erica. And then Khaotic trying to lie, saying that he was doing squats, and she and Amy was like, "Nah, you picked her up." And then they show the clip of Khaotic dry humping Erica in the air. And then Khaotic fumbles his words, trying to say, "Oh, he was trying to show everybody how strong he is because he'd been hitting the gym." And Amy is like, yeah, okay. And then basically, she's just not trying to hear that shit. They've been friends long enough. She know when he lying. And then in her confessional, she says seeing how he's moving with Erica is different, and says that she's never been in front of him while he's hugging on other bitches and throwing bitches in the air, and saying that she's starting to squint at them too, and says that the freaky shit Khaotic says that he wants to do with her, she feels he's already done to Erica, and she don't like it. Amy tells Khaotic that she doesn't want to be that girl, but she is that girl, and she's talking about some boo baby bestie shit. Like, girl, shut up. He's not your boo baby bestie. Y'all are just friends who be fucking on each other, and now he got some other fresh meat to look at. He ain't looking at you. Y'all been boo baby besties for too long, and you ain't been serious from his perspective. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, you can't take him seriously because he's a mess. Look at who his friends are, fucking Scrappy and Safaree. Like, if I were Amy, I really would just let the shit go. Cause if Erica want him, go ahead. But that shit ain't gonna last long. And then Amy tells Khaotic that he's her boo baby bestie, and he's like, I am. And she tells him that she's not trying to control him, but to stop playing with her, and tells him that too many people get princess treatment, and says that they won't be going to know base 2, 3, or 4 until there's some understanding of what they're doing. And then she tells him that if he slides into the real home base, he's hers, and that that's a contract, and that he's just and then he's just staring with his mouth open, basically, like, well, is she for real? And then the PG version, Khaotic says in his confessional that Amy is telling him that if they go all the way, then he's hers. But he says that if he does that with Amy, he might strike out with Erica. So he's gonna see if he can get them both. And my thing is that he's had them both, and it's just becoming public knowledge for all three of them involved. But he knows that he's had both of them, and Erica knows that he's had both of them. And Amy knows that as well, but it's becoming common knowledge between the three of them. And then Khaotic tells Amy that he's getting turned on just thinking about it, and that he don't even want to stand up. And Amy's like, really? You know, it was that easy? And then, because she thought it was his phone, you know how that is. And then in her confessional, Amy says that she's trying to be straightforward, but Khaotic can't stop playing games and things like that is why she's not giving it up easy. And she made it clear. And until he's willing to step up, she isn't moving too fast with him, and that she isn't in a rush. Khaotic asks her what else she's been going through, or no, what else been going on with her. And Amy tells him that she's been invited to this industry event for women, and that she's hearing that Renni is going to be there too, and says that Yandy told her she'll be there, but she and Renni still haven't met or spoke or anything. Khaotic asks her how she thinks that will play out, and she says because of the embarrassment on Rennie's end, she might not want to hear it, but she could turn into the Detroit version of Amy. And Khaotic says, "Oh, please don't turn into that person." And then her confessional, Amy says that this will be her first time seeing Renni Rucci run off with your song Hoochie in person. And it's very important because even though it's been years, she hasn't swept it under the rug, and says she hopes Renni Rucci doesn't try her in front of those women because it's a woman empowerment event. Well, I'm gonna just be clear here. Amy showed her ass at that event. And I be trying to stick up for my dark skinned girls, I really do. But she showed her ass at that event, and I get it. She was pissed, but they could have talked about that somewhere else. She could have got lit, and I feel like her reaction, it was justified, but they could have did that somewhere else. Yeah. But then all the ladies are arriving to the women's empowerment event, and then Yandy in her confessional says that Meda invited her to be a panelist for the event, and it's important because there's needs to be guidance with women in the music industry, and it's a lot of new artists there. In her confessional, Amy says she already knew Erica Banks was going to be a panelist at the event, but she just wants to figure out what's going on with her and Khaotic because he um is in both of their faces, and she want to know what's really the tea. Yeah, girl, because when you asked her the first time, because this is your second time asking her, when you asked her the first time when you invited her at your studio, while you was in the studio, she straight told you, oh, she don't want that man. But the next time you see them together, they dry hump it in the air. And I said this, that Erica should have just been straight up like, oh yeah, I'm feeling him too. But I get it. She was just trying to keep something between them. But Khaotic is the messy one. At the end of the day, these niggas always run their mouth. It don't ever have to be us. They're the ones who run their mouth because they want to be seen like, oh yeah, look, I got all these bitches want me, even when y'all be trying to keep it on the low low. But then Amy tells Erica that she knows that they haven't talked since the whole music video thing with Khaotic. And then Erica cuts her off and says, well, Khaotic did feel some type of way because Amy did come in real aggressive. And Amy says, when? And Erica says, it's like when she came in talking about, oh, so I'm not the video girl. And Erica says that she wasn't really tripping though. Yeah, you wasn't tripping because you knew that that nigga was going to go home with you later. Like, Amy isn't Amy isn't having that. And I'm not gonna lie, Erica Banks seems like the type to be okay with sharing niggas. And the rest of them Atlanta bitches ain't really like that. Not the one she dealing with, not Renni or Amy. They don't seem to be like that. Um Amy tells Erica that she wasn't tripping either, but Khaotic told her that the whole what the whole setup was gonna be like, and that it was gonna be different, and that when she got there, he's basically saying that, oh, she's gonna be following Erica Banks and all of that, and Erica was like, oh, she ain't know about any of that stuff. Again, I think she lying. I really do. But then in her confessional, Erica Banks says that if she were Amy, she would be worried about her because she and Khaotic have been getting a little serious, and that he's been taking her out, and that he told her that once he's off the market, he's off the motherfucking market. And says that he makes it obvious when he comes around who he really wants and who he wants to be with, and Amy should just let it go. Yeah, it's giving I lost my chance, but Khaotic is really flaunting it in her face, like, Amy, you ain't want me all this time. Now I got Erica and Nana the Boo Boo. You know how it is. But Erica, she enjoying it. And then Yandy walks up to them at the table, and Amy tells Erica that she wants them to talk. And then in her confessional, Amy says that, girl, what's really the tea? Either she's fucking on him or not. And she says that she's excited Khaotic is turning this into a little game or a competition because one thing about her is that she never loses, and she might not even want him at the end, but she still isn't going to lose to the next girl. So may the best woman win. That was some corny shit, in my opinion, because if you don't really want him like that, why are you fighting over that dog ass nigga? Like, I don't get it. Like, why do you want to battle over him for? Like, why do either of y'all? And sometimes it's the schmee. I get it. But if Amy says that they haven't gone all the way there yet, what's really the tea? What's really the tea? Then Erica lies, saying that she got to go ready for her panel, but and then just basically leaves because she don't want to talk about that. And then Yandy asks Amy how she's been, and Amy says that she's just trying to get into a space of being cordial with people and having understanding. And Yandy's like, yeah, because there was a situation about a song. And then Amy reiterates what's going on with her and Renni and how she stole the song and how Renni got real nasty and was like, take it up with the label and saying bitches always trying to do something for clout and she don't have nothing to do with it. And then she blocked Amy. And then Amy says she goes public with it and calls out the label and not Renni, and that they both said some petty shit. But as women, she thinks that it could have been handled a little bit better. In her confessional, Amy says that as a black woman, it's really hard. It's already hard enough for her to try and pull off what she's trying to do. But for another black woman to disrespect her like that, she says it's personal for her. And then Yandy tells Amy that Renni is going to be there, so she wants them to talk and have a conversation. And if it goes well, then great. And if not, at least they tried. And she's going to regret that shit later. But then Meda introduces the event and all that stuff and what the ladies are going to be talking about, and then each lady takes the opportunity to say their piece. And then Renni shows up late as fuck, and in her confessional, Renni says that Meda invited her to the event, but she was running late because she had stuff going on. And then Yandy asks her where she's been, and she's like, "Oh, it was her daughter's birthday and stuff." And then Renni says, she's a mother first, and she had to take care of some things, but she wanted to make sure she came to the event and to support. Yandy is looking around and telling Renni that she doesn't know if Amy is still there, but told her that they would bump into each other, and Renni doesn't say anything. And I really feel like it's because she knew some shit was going on and she's embarrassed. I think that's what it was. And she wasn't expecting Amy to call her the fuck out. And even though they ended up saying, oh, it was a label thing, because if you hid hiding from that bitch for 3 years, that means that you are guilty about something, right? But then Yandy tells Renni that they should definitely have a conversation because shit be weird. And then in her confessional, Renni says that she definitely feels like the situation with she and Amy is so tired. Again, because you got caught stealing, hoe. But then she says it's been going on for years and that she keeps talking about the same old thing. If and then says if it was really much of an issue, and says with Amy that, the song wouldn't still be streaming. And that's why she's pissed, bitch, because you're still making money off of her shit. Like that's the whole thing. So stop playing green because you know what it is. And um Renni tells them that she did do the record after Amy, but she didn't know Amy did, and says Amy is talking about, she ran to the blogs and all of the stuff running her mouth. And Meda was like, well, so it wasn't your fault. And Yandy says, Amy says that she wanted to keep it private. That's why she DM'd her. And Renni asked how when she went to the blogs. Because you ignored her, you dummy. And then Yandy's lying, saying that she thinks Amy thinks Renni went to the blogs first, but she's gonna go get her so they can squash this. Of course, you know, she just like Rasheeda, nice and messy. In her confessional, Yandy says she thinks Amy is ready to squash it with Renni, and she thinks that this is a perfect opportunity for her to for them to put them in each other's faces just so they can finish the conversation. And I'm just gonna let y'all know that this shit was fucking ratchet. It was a hot ass mess, and Amy really showed her ass at that event. They were just all talking about how they got to stick together and all of that, and that's what Yandy and them were saying. Like, you just said all this empowering stuff, and now you over here yelling at Renni and shit. But my whole thing is, if I finally see the bitch who stole my song, it's gonna be some heat. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, Amy did show her ass, but Yandy, you're the one who wanted them to talk at a women's empowerment event. You can't be mad at her reaction, no matter where they are, because they could have been at a picnic. They could have been at church. And she probably still would have ran up on that bitch like that because she stole her fucking song. Like, I don't know why y'all trying to be like, well, you know, Amy, you was just, why y'all not giving Rain the same smoke? Because she didn't get up on the panel. She was late. And granted, she had other stuff going on, but y'all loving hip hop bitches really be colorist. Like, it's just crazy. But Yandy brings Amy over to meet Renni, and she was like, she knows that it's been overdue since it's time for them to meet, but she wanted them to seize the opportunity. And Amy says she would love that. And then Yandy tells Amy that she knows that she shared with her the things that went on with Renni, and she thinks that they aren't clear on what actually happened, and that she thinks it was just two different things that they're both upset about. Amy says she doesn't want to be childish, but tells Renni that she kind of responded kind of crazy and that it was rude. And Renni asks what was crazy about it. And Amy says that the message that she sent, to be blocked that way was crazy. And Renni tells Amy that she was blocked because she was making things up, and she didn't even block her until the blog stuff came out, and that she didn't even really see her DM, and she didn't feel like what she said was rude or anything. And she sees that when they went live about the situation, she never felt like she was rude towards her, but that was the confusion with who they work with, and that she's still mad about a record 3 years later. And Amy says, yeah, it's 3 years old, but says how Renni handled it, and blocked her. It was childish, and I get it, because don't steal my song and then not trying to talk to me. And it was probably a thing again with the label of, oh, don't speak on this, even though we know that we stole a song for this from this bitch. Don't speak on it. Don't say nothing. Don't talk to her, even if she reached out to you. Um, Amy tells Renni that if 10 people say you a hoe, you a hoe. If 10 people say you stole a song, then you're a fucking thief. And Renni was like, oh, so you're a comedian. And Amy says, no, you're a slide who doesn't write. And she got real, yeah, she ate her up. Um, and then in her confessional, Yandy said, this isn't the same Amy who just sat up on a panel talking about how beef and stuff shouldn't happen. But again, have you ever had your art stolen, Yandy? Maybe your man, but not your art. So stop it. Cause you ain't create that man. She created that art. Um I'm just really looking through my notes, and it was just a bunch of back and forth shit. They went off on each other, and then Renni walked away, and Deb tried to calm Amy down. And then it was one of those things where they pulled Amy to the side. Both Yandy and Meda pulled Amy to the side. They was trying to tell her, like, calm down, girl. Like, you have to choose how you make your impressions, and you don't want to leave this situation like that. Basically trying to at the dark skinned girl, even though her shit was stolen, and y'all not reprimanding the bitch who stole the shit. It don't matter if it wasn't Rennie's fault. Again, she could have been like, my bad, sis. I ain't know what was going on. Maybe we can figure some shit out. But no, she talking about some, my song is still streaming. Bitch, that's Amy's song. What are you talking about? But then Amy comes back and talks to Rennie, and they kind of just try and resolve shit for the meantime, saying, well, she ain't really had to get lit like that, but she hopes that they understand that, like, where she's coming from. And Amy tells Rennie that because of how the situation grew, she wishes that it could have been handled differently because they don't know each other, and she couldn't call her up and be like, oh, this is what's going on. But Rennie says that she would have called Amy. No, the fuck you wouldn't have. And even if you did, you would have had the same reaction that Amy did. So let's stop trying to make it seem like Amy was just the one that's just completely in the wrong, okay? If y'all would have had these bitches in the park fighting about this, y'all would have still said the same thing about how she reacted. So it didn't matter that it was at a women's empowerment event, because you women don't really empower each other. Let's just keep it a $1.50, all right? Anyways, Rennie admits that she should have responded in a different way as well. And then in her confessional, Amy says Yandy was right to keep her reputation good and not to scare the money off and to make it in this industry. She hopes that she can keep the dialogue going and keep the energy good, but to try and leave this BS behind them. But let's also be clear, Amy is running hot because of the stuff going on with Khaotic and Erica too. So she just getting it. She just getting it from both ends. This episode was hard for my bitch Amy. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But then Amy tells Rennie that she's gonna take this situation and not make things personal because maybe Rennie did get some heat on her end. And Yandy hugs Amy and tells her that she's glad she came over and talked, and that's the end. Like I said, Amy had a rough ass episode, bro. Like, first her somewhat cordial acquaintance Erica Banks is fucking on her boo baby bestie, and now Yandy want to sit the bitch who stole her song for 3 years in her face and tell her, you can't be mad. Like, y'all can miss me with that shit. But if you enjoyed this review, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to see you on the next one.